Are we back? Are we back? Have we returned? Hello, we're back. That was annoying. Oh, I have to restart my chat too. Weird. Weird. What's up, King Europe? Not sure why that happened. I'm never sure why it happens. I don't know. I'm not the lord of the internet. I don't understand. The waves and the magnetrons, the particles, the doohickeys. I started talking about hoop and stick, and then I started dropping frames. Weird. Hey. All right. Well, that'll teach me for talking about old-timey means of diversion. Sony doesn't want me spreading the word about hoop and stick, exactly. I know. We started talking about the PlayStation 5, and then my internet was like, what? That's a trending topic. What? You want me to do what? It's good to see you, HT. Series of tubes. It's not a big truck. It's not a big truck. What if it was a big truck? Woo! That didn't want to be flipped over. Oh, I really want to know what it is now. I really want to know what this is. Let's keep it here. Let's have another one. So this is the one that just did a full backflip. Honesty. That's cute. Honesty. We've had honesty a few times. It's probably why it did a backflip. It was like, hey, you've covered me enough on this stream. But, you know, it bears repeating. It's not like we've never drawn light of awareness before. What say you? Forgiveness. Honesty and forgiveness, great. We got to have one of these conversations? Great. 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 How perfect. That actually is perfect. This is I couldn't think of like a more, you know, apt. In fact, here, let's just like randomly, I'm just going to pull from the middle. Let's do this one. What's this going to be? Just based on the themes of the day. Alienness. Interesting. I like it. I like it. When dealing with themes of polarity, of course, we're going to rub up against alienness. Why do we fear the other? Other than them just feeling alien? Why fear anything that's different? Other than its alienness? And why even fear alienness? You know, I get it. I get why we do. It's different. It's unfamiliar. I'm in a new galactic ambassadorship workshop, so to speak, and I just listened to a transmission from an ambassador of the Yahyel, which is a human Zeta hybrid race, like in a parallel timeline. Very nice people. The ambassador talked a lot about our relationship with the abduction phenomenon, our relationship with alienness, our relationship with, like, why are so many of the stories and the memories so linked to trauma and pain? And why don't they feel like it was a consensual agreement? And so much of it was explained by the lack of emotions on the Zeta part, where it was like, oh, it's not logical that it's like so many humans have agreed to this program. surely like a little bit of fear and pain is not going to like, disturb them too much. And then of course, like, things disturb us a lot. We don't like to be disturbed. We're a very sensitive, very feeling, very emotional people, very emotional species. And then you take another species who is less emotional, but still has the same goals, still wants to collaborate in a co-creation. Inevitably, there's going to be a few horror movies that come out of that. There's going to be a lot of accidental boogeymen. A lot of whoopsie doopsie. Now there's a narrative about anal probes. Because we think about extracting DNA and blood and stuff. I'm really getting into it. I'm sorry. I woke up and I dove right into some of these modules from this workshop. So I'm not in metaphorical land right now. I'm in like straight up. I'm talking about aliens right now. What up, Chris Mack? It's so good to see you. Holy macaroni. Thank you so much for that extremely generous bit drop. Huge bit drop from Chris Mack. I'm trying to set it up so that my BRB screen right now is just constantly playing episodes of Star Pals. It'll be like a little Star Pals TV station that I switch over to. Right now, I only have the first episode up, though. I'm going to work on that later. And I'll also work on new bit alerts so that little characters are dancing across the screen and so forth, if I can get that working. Thank you so much, Chris Mack. You're extremely generous. Right now, we've jumped right into alienness. It's freaky. But it's ultimately us, I guess. Today I feel very like it's tougher for me to walk the journey with you. Today I'm a little more like, let's jump right to the conclusion. The conclusion, of course, being like the thing that we talked about with a light of awareness. Like, it's all unified, I guess. I don't know. This is going to be felt really, really intensely today because it's a debate. It's a debate day. It's a political debate day in America. And that's a very global event. That stage is like very global. And you may or may not care. You may or may not watch. That's perfectly fine. There's going to be a lot of energies of polarity, obviously leading up to November, which I am getting more and more comfortable with as the time passes. I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I'm backed into a corner, I gain more calm and clarity. That's sort of my vibe, I guess. So the closer we get to November, like the calmer I become, which is not the case for a lot of people. Let me just move that logo. We got to think about branding, chat. Branding is so important to this stream. Oh, I kind of like it over there. I don't know. Anywho, I'm kind of all over the place, as you can probably tell by the way that I'm speaking and what I'm choosing to focus on when I look at these cards. It's exciting. I'm in a good mood. I feel good. You feel calmer, closer to the event. Yeah, it's like it's just happening, you know. And we can fight the fights we want to fight, and organize in the ways that we want to organize, and collaborate and educate and learn as much as we can and help as much as we can throughout. That's all we do our whole lives, I guess. You love a moving target. Yeah. I'm really glad this was the first thing that was drawn, because it just very directly references the integration of an extremely polarized population. It's that first flicker that peace can be achieved. That first little glimmer of hope that it's like, oh my God, opposites don't need to kill each other. Opposites can easily coexist. It's called harmony. It's a concept in music. Two notes can harmonize. They're different notes. Even two notes can be discordant, and that's uncomfortable for some people, but it can be really fun to explore. Discordant harmonies are still beautiful and valuable to the like medium of music. But, you know, the first time you play two dissonant notes, You're not always going to be like, oh, that's something in my body. That's a little less comfortable. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's going to work for me. It's tricky. It's also a tricky metaphor because someone could easily say, well, dissonant notes aren't threatening my existence or whatever. You know, whatever the fear is. My way of life, my family, my familiarity, that alienness. It's almost always initially going to be perceived as a threat unless we remember that unified awareness. And sometimes trauma gets in the way of that. I can't allow myself to feel unified with an other because I've been hurt before, or I've been threatened before, or I've lost a loved one. Therefore, that alienness is a threat to me and should be treated as one for the rest of my life. So be it. Let your journey be your journey. You know, I'm just here to sort of like poke and prod in different directions. And I'm on the same journey. I have perceived enemies. I have perceived opposition. Like, I don't know what it is. I just really, really, really like trying to understand difference, I guess. I was tested with that recently with that dream that I told some of you about. Usually when I meet with world leaders in dreams, it's like a sit down and they're humanized and there's a conversation of honesty and forgiveness. But recently I had a dream where I was put into a position with a world leader where the only option was violence. And I haven't been tested in that way in a really long time because I think a lot of you kind of associate me with like obnoxiously seeking a nonviolent route most of the time. And so this dream scenario concocted an extremely specific sequence of events where the only option was violence for survival, for world peace, for a peaceful outcome. Like the only scenario where like someone had to die. Someone had to die and I had to be the one to commit the act in a very split-second moment. And I very rarely have those dreams because I feel I thought I was like above that. I think I mistakenly was like I was being condescending about like, oh, I'm, you know, I will always try to seek a nonviolent path, and I think subconsciously I was like, oh, that's like I was being condescending, like I'm so holier than thou because I always seek some other option, and then like it's I don't know, I'm really obsessed with the fact that I had this dream last week. I talked about it in therapy a bit. It was pretty cool. I shared it with my dad last night and he was like really proud of me. He was like, "Oh, I'm glad you made that decision." And it's like it's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's interesting. Let's talk about honesty and forgiveness. Oh no, let me read about alienness for a bit while we're still on that subject. 27. Like it's uncomfortable for me to talk about that dream because I don't like being scary, and I know that doesn't make me come off as scary, but I've been thinking a lot about like addressing of the shadow self recently. I've been watching like YouTube video essays on certain comedians who are like transphobic or really like bigoted, and it's very clear throughout like recorded evidence that they've put out of their content over the course of their careers and their lives that it's like, oh, you have a lot of repressed like, you know, desire to explore gender fluidity, or you have a lot of repressed desire to explore same-sex sexuality or something, or, you know, homosexuality, I should say. Or like, oh, like you can track these sorts of repressed things. And I've been thinking about, okay, so what are my shadow aspects, and like what am I pushing down, and what am I not bringing to the surface? And I think I've always had like a shame regarding my like sort of bubbling. Like I have a lot of rage, I guess, which I am like is having more light shined on it in therapy. And I think when I was younger, I associated that as I would gender that. And so I like went away from it. I'm like, oh no, you know, only this type of gender feels that type of way, which was extremely narrow-minded of me as a younger person. But those were the sorts of compartments I think that I would put myself into. And very recently it's been like, oh, everyone is so complex and so diverse within themselves. Like everyone can express an infinite amount of qualities through their individual unique expression. And I want to be as honest as I possibly can about what I am repressing within myself. And that's hard to do without an objective set of ears to listen to you. So like a therapist or a Twitch chat is extremely helpful for me. I'm like obsessed with people calling me out on stuff. I will usually fight back because I'm a human being and I'm proud and I'm like, oh, I already know that about myself. I'm super self-aware. And it's like, no. What am I? I'm almost 33. I'm a baby. I'm a tiny old baby. And there's one of my favorite things about being alive is constantly learning. And I guess with that frustration that comes with that hidden rage also comes like this great sense of pride and like I don't know, the need to prove that I'm already aware of all my flaws, which is like impossible for any human to do. 27, alienness. This is a parallel energy. This is not specific to any one civilization. The energy of this card refers to the sense of alienness that many humans have, that keeps them from feeling connected to life on planet Earth. Many feel strange in their own skin, as if they came from somewhere else. You may indeed have a connection to non-human beings in the universe, but because you are human in this life, this card asks you to begin embracing your uniqueness and celebrate it rather than fear it or be ashamed of it. Well, doesn't that just hit the nail on the head? If you need help, ask some loving non-human beings to assist you during meditation, if you're open to that sort of thing. Feel their alienness and open your heart to them anyway. You and they are one. Beautiful. Let's talk about honesty. Talking about honesty. You want to hear about my other world leader dreams? I think you guys have already heard all the stories, though. Let's talk about honesty. That's a Lyra awareness card. Honesty. The next galactic civilization that's going to be covered in the workshop that I'm taking right now is Lyra. Very excited to connect with the Lyrans. Very exciting time, considering how much work we do with all of these cards and so forth. Very exciting time. Honesty. Let's talk about honesty. I am strong enough to be authentic. I am strong enough to be authentic. I just wrote a tweet right when I woke up. Some like bot Twitter was just like, "Hey girlies, like when I'm being so rude right now, but it was like, "Hey, when was the dysphoria too much and when did you decide to start transitioning?" For all the trans women on Twitter. It did not start with "Hey girlies," but it had that vibe because it was a blue check mark and I was like, "Is this a human? Is this a person or is this a bot?" But I wanted to respond because I was like, there was a moment in my life that led me to be like, okay, I would like to actually live honestly. Either that or I would like to perish. Like it became very binary, that choice in that moment. What's up, Monster CC? It's very good to see you. But the affirmation for honesty is, I am strong enough to be authentic. And I am, and you are. We are strong enough to be authentic. It can be scary. It can be a little alien to be authentic, especially if we're conditioned to behave a certain way, to express ourselves in certain ways, to limit ourselves in certain ways that feel comfortable or complacent, or we're placating, or we're pandering, you know? Let's pander to ourselves. Let's cater to whatever will be. Let's pander Sarah. Let's all join hands and sing Pander Sarah. I am strong enough to be authentic. I like that word strong. I'm like obsessed with seeing authenticity as strength. I'm like almost unhealthily obsessed with that. I only say unhealthy because I worry that I'm not always like living up to that as fully as I could be. But yesterday I had a conversation with my therapist where she's like, you do a lot of work on yourself, and sometimes eventually you're going to start scraping the walls, you know? Like, it's okay to look outward and relax and go easier on yourself. And I think I'll be seeing a different therapist from now on. No, I'm just joking. All right, let's talk about honesty. Whoa. Honesty is the authentic expression of your truths. Honesty is the authentic expression of your truths. Honesty takes careful awareness, courage, and trust. People are often afraid to speak simple truths, much less the more difficult ones. Truth does sometimes hurt, but it never needs to be shared with hurtful intent. As you become honest with yourself, you have less unconscious need for others to appease your insecurities and fears. You begin to interact with empowerment. This card asks you to look seriously and compassionately at your honesty. The Lyrans had to first learn to be honest with themselves. Are you being honest with yourself and others? Are you manipulating with emotions? Not every situation will call for your full honesty to be shared, as it is not your place to change everyone else. I need to remind myself of that constantly. Honesty becomes a tool for understanding yourself and others better. Your honesty is a powerful gift. You begin to interact with life from compassion and empowered truth. The light language, right there, the beautiful squiggles, is activating your authenticity within you so you can heal your insecurities and fears. It is showing you the power of honesty and your capability to maintain integrity, even in challenge. Even in challenge. The bullet points say, define the insecurities and fears beneath your emotional reactions. Woo! As if it's that easy. Seek healing to help you move past traumas blocking your courage. What's blocking our courage? Heck! It's usually a trauma. Heck! Recognize when your truth does not need to be shared. Boy, could I use that one stapled to my forehead. Release negative emotions in a positive way that benefits you and doesn't harm others. That can be tough, releasing negative emotions in a positive way that benefits you and doesn't harm others. Like a creative outlet. That's fun to think about. The catharsis of a creative outlet that benefits you and doesn't harm others. You guys ready to talk about forgiveness? Are you guys ready to talk about forgiveness? Does anyone even want to talk about forgiveness? I do, because I love it. I love the concept. And I like how controversial the word forgiveness has become. It's like, it's juicy. It feels like if you're looking for any more blatant of a sign of like dancing in the playground of polarity, it's how controversial the concept of forgiveness is. Especially when, ramping up in the sports arena of a political debate. How excited are we all? Is everyone excited? I'm excited. I know that a lot of people are not excited. I'll be excited for you. How's that? Forgiveness. Serious initiation, forgiveness. I'm surprised this isn't an Orion card. I guess because it isn't about... The Orion cards in this deck are talking about releasing, and the serious cards in this deck are talking about initiation. Forgiveness, seeing forgiveness as an initiation, that can be so powerful. It's like the first step in a huge journey towards integrating all of these prickly, bristly emotions, doubts, fears, uncertainties, confusions, pains, frustrations A wonderful key to unlocking that door and starting to step through that threshold is forgiveness. And I love the description of this card. We've had both of these cards several times, which leads me to believe that my shuffling technique is either flawed or it's just we really need to focus on these concepts, I guess. And it makes sense. They're two pretty big ones, especially when we're talking about integrity. But that means you have to initiate it? Sure. Well, I mean, you're the one in the driver's seat, I guess. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Let's talk about forgiveness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is everyone enjoying my singing? I hope everyone's enjoying my singing. I am. Forgiveness. Where are we? Let's talk about honesty. But again, Danny, I'm very excited that you're here for this card because one of the biggest lessons that it reminds us in the book is that forgiveness is not excusing someone. It's releasing them from the apartment complex that is you. It's like kicking them out. It's evicting them from the little room that you've set up in your heart for them. You know, I'd be curious. I'm curious to ask you how your personal life is going with that ex of yours, but I don't want to bring it up, even though I just totally did. Let's talk about forgiveness. It's not excusing behavior. Forgiveness. Let's redefine the word. I don't know why we associate it with excusal. You are the landlord of your heart, exactly. You are the landlord of your heart. It's a shit metaphor. I'd really like to, I'm going to work on a different metaphor. Because I know that's got a lot of baggage. You don't think I've forgiven him any more than when I last brought him up. Well, there you go. I mean, and again, you don't need to. None of this is like required and stuff. But it's like, I have someone who's taking up a lot of space in my thoughts and in my heart, and it's ruining my day, and I can't stop thinking about them, and it becomes this obsession, and I start to spiral out. One way to start that healing process of like, you know, getting them out of, unless you want them to occupy space within you, in which case, yeah, you have free will. Yeah. Like, I think I just tend to offer the concept of forgiveness because I'm like, now are you looking for a solution to this intruder inside of your heart? Or do you want them to stick around and you're uncomfortable with that desire to want them to stick around? I don't know. It takes like a level of clarity with your intention. Like, what do you want to do with them now that they've sort of shacked up and have started to squat in your heart, in your mind, in your awareness, in your focus? Like, you know, let's talk about forgiveness. I forgive easily and create from freedom within. That's the affirmation. I forgive easily and create from freedom within. I also want to remind myself that to forgive myself, because with all this, like, I want to improve myself constantly and always be super self-aware of everything and be as honest as possible at everything. Also, just like taking it easy, like reminding myself to forgive myself if I fuck up, which I will, because I'm a human being. Let's talk about forgiveness. You basically just want the last word. Up? What's the last word? Within? Freedom? Let's talk about freedom. Freedom. You want to create freedom? Let's talk about forgiveness. Gotta be honest with yourself. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just singing like a children's theme song, like a television show theme song. Out of the box, Out of the box. Remember Out of the Box? What was the Bear in the Big Blue House theme song? I was like a little too old for Bear in the Big Blue House. I remember the Out of the Box theme song. Where in the world is honesty and forgiveness? It's bananas and pajamas. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful catalyst that allows you to alchemize challenge into empowerment. Forgiveness is a powerful catalyst that allows you to alchemize challenge into empowerment. If you don't want to alchemize challenge into empowerment, then it's probably not going to be an attractive thing to pursue, I think. It's very tricky. Again, these depend on our definitions. And for some reason, a lot of us have the definition of forgiveness equaling excusal. And they're so they are so different from each other. Like, I want to be the one who says the final thing. I want to leave him on one sick one-liner and do a hair. So you want to live life in a movie? I know, don't we all? Do a hair flip and walk away. Did you not get that, I guess, from breaking up, or do you really think a one-liner is gonna like teach him anything, though? I don't know this person, but the discussions that we have, it just seems like there's not gonna be a satisfying way to reach him. It's almost impossible to like for our interactions with other people to play out the way that they do satisfyingly in our fantasies. You know what I mean? Metaphorical with the one-liner. You want to eat tree stars? You want to eat tree stars in my movie life? Is that a song lyric? Forgiveness is a powerful catalyst that allows you to alchemize challenge into empowerment. It changes your internal vibrational information. The Syrians deeply understand the connection of emotions and thoughts to your physicality. Forgiveness is not about condoning abuse or allowing it to continue. Let me repeat that 7 or 8 more times. Forgiveness is not about condoning abuse or allowing it to continue. It is not about those things. Forgiveness is not about condoning abuse or allowing it to continue. You are wise to remove yourself from a dangerous situation. It's also very tantalizing to return to a dangerous situation if we want to try to prove something to that person who hurt us or something, whereas they may have no effing clue what you're trying to teach them. I don't know. If you escape, for some reason I'm thinking of a dinosaur because I'm thinking about Super Mario Odyssey. You escape the T-Rex that's chasing you. Why do you want to turn around and run back into its mouth? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not the boss, you know. And every situation's different. Every situation's different. You are wise to remove yourself from a dangerous situation. Forgiveness releases perpetrators from your inner world. Forgiveness releases perpetrators from your inner world. And I'm focusing on this scenario with Plant Danny right now, but this also has everything to do with everything else, everywhere. People in our lives who we're shutting out. People who, and you don't need to incorporate everyone into your life. That's something that's very important for me to remember. Like, it's very popular to be like, I want to shut this person out completely from my life. And it's valid to do so, etc. But if we're shutting them out completely from our life, be honest about it. If they're still occupying space within you and they're still perpetrating the crimes over and over and over and over every time you think of them or see a billboard that reminds you of them or something, have you really shut them out of your life? Have you really cut them out? They're still there. There's still a tether there. How are we going to deal with those tethers? What if I do want to prove something to him, but also invite the others in his life to question his integrity? Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, Danny, it's so tricky. Like I want to engage, but I don't know this person. I don't know. I'm not you. I can't make your decisions for you, but I really want to make your decisions for you. It's so tantalizing. I love to control other people. What if I want to prove something to him, but also invite the others in his life? Do you ever talk to the others in his life? Do you ever like talk to them about him? Do you ever talk to them about the relationship that you had with him and so forth? And I yeah, I've sort of accepted at this point that like they iced you out when he gave them his side of things. So like, why hold on? Why are you holding on? Why hold on? Like, I understand though. It's so tantalizing to hold on. I'm sure I would be saying different words if I knew the entirety of the story, but the way that it's been described to me, it's I just see there's such a clear like. But that's the thing about relationships and love and anger and humanity. It's like I want closure to look exact. I want closure to be as satisfying as possible for me. A lot of them never unfriended you because your Facebook is a graveyard. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep reading from the book. Okay. Forgiveness releases perpetrators from your inner world. I just repeat this over and over again because it's like, if you want them released, here's a possible method. If this is an unattractive method, do you really want them released? I don't know. I don't know. Questions to ask. Questions to ask. They're hard questions. They're not easy. And it requires me and it requires people to look at ourselves like really honestly. Do I really want to let go of that person? Or do I want to just keep them in my life so that I can prove something to them? And then they'll learn and then they'll change. You know, they're going to change in their own time based on their own revelations. Especially if they have a history with an ex or something, are they going to listen to that ex? I don't know. Again, it's a case-by-case basis. You want to hit him where it hurts now that he isn't holding power over you? He is holding power over you, though, because he's still constantly in your thoughts. Sorry? Like, he's still occupied. The lease is not over. The lease is not over. Do you know what I mean? I know this is annoying. That's the nature of this work. It's annoying and it's messy. And I'm not a licensed therapist. So you can please, Heltran, go tell me to fuck myself, everyone. I'm just waiting for her to say it first. Please. I invite you immediately to tell me to go fuck myself if I overstep. Anyone in chat. Seriously. But because I'm so curious about your specific situation. I'm just like, oh, I wanna help because I perceive you to be in suffering, and I want, as your internet friend, I want to alleviate the suffering. And since I'm so detached from your situation, I see these solutions that to me are so clear, but it's not. It's me just trying to fix, and it's up to you what decisions you make. And there's no wrong answer because it's your life, and they're your chapters to learn. Call you about it sometime for sure. For sure. Go fuck yourself. Thank you, Heltran. More tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones. Whoa. Now there's a Hallmark card. More tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones. Whoa. Whoa. That's something to think about. Forgiveness releases perpetrators from your inner world. You begin to release fear, victimhood, and lack of worth. You are now free to know your true worth and capability, which is limitless. Self-forgiveness is necessary too. There is often anger and guilt for what is first perceived as weakness or failure. This card reminds you that as you forgive within, you are enhancing your courage and capability. From this empowered place, you are able to perceive the root. Hold on, I got distracted. This card reminds you that as you forgive within, you are enhancing your courage and capability. I think that's attractive. I like that, you know. It reminds me of like building your skills in an RPG or something. The more that I'm able to forgive within, the more that I can enhance my courage and capability stats. From this empowered place, you are able to perceive the root cause of another's behavior and recognize that their insecurity is stronger than their love. Sheesh. That's that sort of honest detachment that gets talked about a lot in this sort of subject. What's up, Mom Boy? It's great to see you. Haters love it when you're down. I'm going to read that last sentence one more time. From this empowered place, you are able to perceive the root cause of another's behavior and recognize that their insecurity is stronger than their love. And the same goes for us. You will no longer feel the need for retribution or shrinking back from your own expression. Again, that's if you want to feel relief from retribution. I can sit here and preach all this stuff all day, but a gift is only really received if you want to receive it. And there's no right or wrong answers. Everything is valid. Like, I just want to share these words out loud in case it helps somebody in some way. It's not like a mandate. I'm not waiting for everyone to practice forgiveness in their lives until they've become these like enlightened masters, because I'm certainly not anywhere near there. You know, I'm a human being. I just really like reading these words because they help me out a lot with my own stuff. Insecurity overpowering love is one of the saddest things I can think of. Indeed, it's one of the most common things I think I can think of when I'm thinking about like polarity, dealing with alienness, shrouding the light of awareness in favor of fear of the other, feeling threatened by. What's up, Moody? It's really good to see you. Is that a snail? A cat snail? That's so cute. Super cute. The light language is consciously and unconsciously bringing up areas that need forgiveness. That's this beautiful series of scribbles here. Observe what stirs in your life as it supports you to release vibrational discord from within. We were talking about harmony earlier. Resonance, dissonance. Observe what stirs in your life. Observe what stirs in your life. Like, oof. The metaphor immediately became this robotic cat litter box that I used at a friend's house when I was cat sitting for them. How it just like, it's like, oh, fuck. And then the egg starts to rotate and all the litter starts to like sift and all the poop starts to like chunk off and go into a little thing. All the waste. It's like, when forgiveness is brought up, poop and waste gets stirred up. Sifting. Yeah. Oh, we're good with these metaphors today. These are I am really at my best today, chat. I'm really at my best. Observe what stirs in your life, like the giant egg of poop as it sifts the robot cat litter box. Stirs in your life as it supports you to release vibrational discord from within. And so often, when we hold on to that vibrational discord within, it manifests physically. It's like, oh, fuck, why am I sick? Why are my lymph nodes swollen? Why do I have a stomach ache? Why do I have a cough? Etc. It could be a myriad of reasons, but quite often, there's going to come a time when our paradigm like cracks open to like, oh, physical ailments are due to internal ailments, like emotional ailments, energetic ailments, things like that. You know, all that annoying shit that we hate to hear from new age practitioners. It's going to be real fun. Oh boy. I am at my worst today. This is the worst stream I have ever done. I am sick because of COVID. Yes. Yes. Do you still have COVID? Or are you kind of doing that thing where like you have other, like you're testing negatively, but you're still sick? A friend of mine in group is going through that right now. Much health and strength to you, Health Tran, even. Remove yourself from an abusive situation and forgive from a place of safety. This is a huge thing because often when forgiveness is brought up, it's like, what, you want me to stay with the abusive person? You want me to stay with the abuser? You want me to excuse this, forgive this? See, again, that goes back into the like, no. Forgiveness is not about condoning abuse or allowing it to continue. You are wise to remove yourself from a dangerous situation. Forgiveness releases perpetrators from your inner world. And once that poop can start to be disheveled from the robot egg, oh my God, then it's a little easier to see what we need, what we need to prioritize for ourselves. Most of it was over the first day, but you're still contagious. Well, maybe I'm around where people stop being contagious. Oh, for sure. Well, that's good. That's great to hear. That's wonderful. Stand up for yourself by holding your boundaries and saying no with compassion. No with compassion. You can angrily scream at someone compassionately. Those two things can exist. So we should all be spiritual landlords and illness is caused by bad vibes? Yeah. Yes. 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 And if any of that's like triggering, examine why. I don't know. That's the best I could do. Like the best thing I could do is just say yes. And then see why I would say yes instead of no, I guess. I don't know. Again, welcome to my worst stream I've ever done. Forgive easily and live your life from freedom within. That's the third bullet point at the bottom of the page, and I'm going to repeat the affirmation that's at the top of the page. I forgive easily and create from freedom within. That bullet point again is, these bullet points are sort of like commands, you know, or calls to action. That has a little less baggage than command. Nobody wants to be commanded to do anything. Call to action, however, I'm an activist for myself and my loved ones and the world around me. Forgive easily and live your life from freedom within. I imprison myself from within all the time. Yesterday, my entire therapist session was just like rattling off all the ways that I imprison myself, and I have conditioned myself to do so, like since childhood, basically. Like, oh, I can't do this yet, or I'm unable to do that because of all of these things and all of these self-imposed things. And just by being aware of them, just by rattling them off, does not solve those or free me from those prisons and so forth. But for me, I think it's a helpful tool to start with, like addressing that they exist instead of just constantly being like, the world is a giant prison. I used to just constantly come from that perspective, and that can be useful in certain ways, certain arguments. For me, it became largely unhelpful and extremely limiting. And I still struggle with that every day. Like the choice to stay alive, the choice to follow my passion, the choice to bring enthusiasm to a scenario that I perceive to be like inherently oppressive. Why should I be optimistic? You know, why? Like who, for myself. That's why. Like so that I can stay alive, I guess. Like for a while for me it was that extreme. So yeah. I'm glad I'm here too, Mom Boy. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Shout outs to I'm gonna shout out your just because I've been really enjoying your streams lately. Everyone in here is a fantastic streamer. I guess we have Moody Queer Ghost is a fantastic streamer. Helltran is a fantastic streamer. Momboy is a fantastic streamer. Please follow all of these people. And anyone else who I'm missing, I'm probably missing someone who's lurking. And why didn't it shout out? Sorry for shouting. Sorry for shouting as I'm giving shout outs? What is this? Hypocrisy Island? And Heltran is here too again. That would have been funny. That would have been a funny joke. But I actually genuinely do think that Heltran is a great streamer, and I have a deep love. Okay, let's read some more things that's gonna bug everyone and sift up that robot cat poop. Oh boy. Oh, appreciate your past challenges for the strength you have now. That's the final bullet point. Appreciate your past challenges for the strength that you have now. Just like what I was just talking about. I'm talking about this big trauma where everything became this huge binary where it's like, do I die? Do I stay alive? Why? Like, what are the pros and cons of dying? What are the pros and cons of staying alive? Appreciate your past challenges for the strength you have now. All of that shit that got sifted by the turning of the robot egg, traumas, like milestones, events, baggage, things, very, very painful memories, very scary moments in our life that are like trials and tribulations. They're challenges. We've overcome them. Do you know how I know? Because you're still here. You can hear my voice. I'm right here. I'm online streaming, and I'm still alive. That means that I overcame some past challenges. I don't know. I'm in relatively good spirits and health. Like, I'm here. Relatively. I'm not trying to brag about my spirits and health. Relatively. Like, we've overcome something. Most of us are, over a certain age. We've overcome a lot of stuff. And I just really want to congratulate whoever can hear this. Like, that really deserves praise. Like, repeated praise. Not like participation trophy, all that, empty praise. But I do want to give you a participation trophy. You're still here. That's a victory. You've won some challenges. You've overcome some challenges because you're here. You fed yourself when you were hungry. You went to sleep when you were tired. You drank when you were thirsty. You survived difference by having friendships and relationships and highs and lows, breakups, familial arguments. You're still here. And you're thriving. Oh, I can smell it. I can smell how much you're thriving. I can smell the shit litter from here. We have overcome the shit litter and now can appreciate the clean patch of cat toilet we have now. Exactly, Monster CC. Exactly. And I know that a lot of this comes off really annoyingly. That's going to be like a big part of my career moving forward because I'm getting into New Thought ministry. And so much of like metaphysical contemporary spirituality is are we turning away from like the negative conditions of the world in favor of like, oh, everything's love and light? That's, I think, one of the biggest criticisms of contemporary, like just general metaphysical spirituality, like organized spirituality and so forth. Because a lot of us associate organized religion with these sorts of old world binaries of like heaven, hell, good, bad, up, down, left, right, your God, my God, male, female, right, wrong, right, left. And then, the word spirituality in the English language, oh, that presents a fluidity. Oh, we get to dance around and be creative. Oh, it's like a jelly band that we're sifting through. We're in a swimming pool filled with snack pack puddings, and we're drowning in tapioca. And it's delicious, but also it's very sweet sometimes. The tapioca is very, very sweet. The pudding is very sugary sometimes. A little too much love and light without actually meaning it. A little too much, what is that word for when it's just empty words? Like when you're just, maybe I'm not thinking of the right word. You can smell the thriving. Yeah. Oh my God, that's Beyonce. That's a really good emo. Did you guys see her Instagram post where she's like smoking and drinking in the ocean and it during the sunset? I'm like, that's the coolest photograph I've ever seen in my life. I was like, I like it was a really good Instagram post. Appreciate your past challenges for the strength you have now. The strength you have now. It's hard to remember how strong we are. Because I think a lot of us live in a paradigm of survival mode constantly, crisis, putting out fires, whatever is directly in front of us, our focus, like, oh my God, I have to pay this bill. But in order to do that, I have to do this job. And in order to do that, I have to fill out this form or find transport or, there's just like constant obstacles that need to be surmounted in order to reach that perceived future satisfaction where there will finally be peace, etc. Something I really try to remind myself is being grateful, appreciating the strengths that I have now, where I've come, how far I've come. How far have you shot rope? Chat, please don't clip that. Please delete that. This VOD is not going up. How far have we come? The title of my talk today is how far have we come? That was so inappropriate. There's probably a balance to aim for between identifying all the shit around and not getting bogged down in it. Exactly. I think that's one of the sort of trapping of this like self-awareness when it comes to helping oneself. Let me list all of my issues so that I can work on them. Oh, suddenly, like each issue becomes a bar in that prison, that like mind prison that I was describing earlier. You haven't shot rope since the Trump administration. Well, there you go. Is this even officially 18 plus? It should be. It is. Like I whatever setting that is, I have it as that. It would be great if it was 21 plus, just because 18-year-olds are preposterous. Hell, 33-year-olds are preposterous. We're all just old babies. Yeah. This is a beautiful quadratic reading to kick us off. Light of awareness, alienness. How do we deal with alienness? Well, a good place to start is that little glimmer, the light of awareness. How do we find that glimmer? How do we find that honesty and forgiveness? It takes honesty. Honesty is so hard. And sometimes even when we're trying, let me just use I statements because I'm being messy. This is the worst stream I've ever done. I just remind you to buy dildos. Buy dildos, chat. I could use a dildo. That's another conversation. What was I? Shit. I was on a roll. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Honest. Hold on. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. I'm obsessed with honesty and having people call me out on stuff because I know that I am unable to see everything about myself. I know that I'm unable to be completely 100% self-aware. And that's part of the journey. That's part of the challenge. That's part of the fun. That's part of the story. And it frustrates me because I want to be as aware as possible of everything all the time. I'm very greedy for my awareness and impatient. And it causes me to have a lot of like blind spots, I suppose. What up, Malt? It's good to see you. Buy dildos, Malt. Invest in dildos. Does anyone want an individual reading? I might just pull another 4 cards if no one wants an individual. Or we could do a third. Should we do a third? Do you guys want to do a third? Oh, Christ. Ugh. Curses, this is all anyone ever asks us. How do you manage the telegramophone whilst wearing gentlemen's sporting gloves? Did you hear that, the sneak? I told him I'd give him what's for. Now go and steal me fresh jam. Calling me out on the lack of Yanya runs. My last reading for you took a very interesting turn. That's interesting. I hope it was helpful. I mean, this just feels so obvious. This just feels so obvious. Belief systems, inner guidance. I feel like very recently we had both of these cards. Belief systems, inner guidance. Let's just do a quick little refresher for it. Belief systems, earth present. Again, I just keep coming back to the events of today because I believe everything is like sort of a fractal of everything else. I believe everything is sort of like a metaphor of everything else. So I just think right now is a day where polarization has a spotlight on it because it's a scheduled political debate. And that to me is very exciting. Exciting. I'm taking away the positive and the negative connotations from the word exciting. It's inherently stimulating. Like there is adrenaline within me because I live in a house where it will be on the television because of the people who I live with and so forth. And so that will be something that I will be actively like participating in with my eyeballs. Now you don't have to because it can be extremely stressful. What did we talk about? Getting safe, like putting distance, between you and the abusive party in your life. Sometimes media is the abusive party in one's life. The media that we choose to consume. Sometimes we beat ourselves up because we're like, I need to consume this media in order to stay informed or in order to know what's going on or something. Meanwhile, we're just like building a little mountain of dread, guilt, fear, anger, etc., paranoia, etc. It's tricky. It's something that we all navigate personally, and it's all different for everybody. You're allowed to beat yourself up, but only if you get off on it. There you go. There you go. Buy dildos. That's the moral of the stream today. 53. I'm sorry. I feel like some people might have kids. So I guess I'm going to try to clean my act up so that you can leave me on in your households. 53. This is a very adult stream, though. I wonder if someday I'll try to change that. What's earlytobed.com? I'm afraid to. Is that going to be dildos? I'm guessing that's going to be dildos. There is a human tendency to cling to belief systems and rationalize them as facts without realizing that they are illusions. I'm going to say that one more time. There is a human tendency to cling to belief systems and rationalize them as facts without realizing that they are illusions. In fact, any construct of our minds, beliefs, thoughts, emotions, is an illusion and not representative of our true nature as aware consciousness beyond the human experience. So when we're talking about our true nature, that's what we're referring to. It's the unified collective. It's everything. It includes everything, so it's inherently, if I say the word neutral, I think we have too much baggage with the word neutral. It makes people think of indifference, makes people think of like centrism. But it's the only word that I can conjure right now to just sort of reference a point of perspective outside of a polarized positive and negative. It's non-binary, etc. This is seen as a unique human trait, constructing belief systems in our minds. One that obstructs our growth at every turn. Again, that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's something that we choose to do. It's fun for us. It's like programming a video game. You want to talk about simulation theory? We're the programmers, you know? Take a look at your belief systems and your view of the world. See them as constructs of ego rather than universal truths. Only one truth exists, that you are pure consciousness. Everything else is an illusion. It's hard to talk in these absolutes, but cosmically, to me, it makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense for you. It's just a perspective to present and consider. Belief systems. The commentary describes belief systems as complex maps that we build within us that help us navigate our inner and outer worlds and create our view of reality, often formed unconsciously from early life experiences, past lives, etc. They keep us feeling safe, but they also can stop us from growing. Right now, there is a high degree of attachment to our belief systems. This keeps us in opposition to each other, as is seen in religious, political, social conflicts. Personally, our belief systems keep us stuck. They stop us from loving ourselves, from growing, from healing, from moving toward unity consciousness. In this time of tremendous growth on Earth, it becomes essential to look within and identify these belief systems, including those about ourselves and those about the world around us. This quest is not a pleasant one, but it is an essential one for all those seeking to awaken their consciousness. Oh, this is interesting. This card came up in your reading. You are being asked to look at the belief systems of those around you and how you are affected, as well as your own belief systems, how your own belief systems keep you stuck, possibly hurting those in your life. Go on a treasure hunt deep within yourself. What you will find can greatly serve you in your growth if you apply the lessons. What are my belief systems about dildos? Inner guidance. How are we going to guide a dildo inside? Okay. So what? So the dildo could be forgiveness. Thank you. Inner guidance. Inner guidance. Let's talk about inner guidance. Let's talk about inner guidance. Let's take some more sips of coffee. Sorry. Serious initiation. Talk about an initiation. Let's talk about inner guidance. We've got to clean it up because some friends have kids. Gotta clean it up because friends are having kids. Inner guidance. Trying to make it appropriate for everybody involved. Trying to expand my audience to people who have kids. Yeah. Inner guidance. Those kids are going to grow up. Those kids are going to grow up today. Inner guidance. Where are we? Serious initiation. Guys, no, it's not worth talking about right now. I was going to talk about how I felt slight, brief dysphoria being on Sybil's stream the other night because of my voice and so forth. And I'm like, oh, no. Let's talk about forgiveness. Inner guidance too. Oh, everybody, what? Is that what I'm singing? My inner guidance always leads me to improvement. My inner guidance always leads me to improvement. Inherently, even when I feel like I'm backsliding, even when I feel like I'm making a mistake, even when I feel like I took the wrong turn at the fork in the road, that's still improvement. Oh my God, I'm driving on the wrong road. You know, that's something you didn't know before and now you do. That's inherent improvement. It could be, of course, I could tell myself that it's wasted time. I could tell myself that it was a mistake. I could tell myself that it was a regret or whatever. It's still something that happened. It's cemented in the history of me. Why am I dropping frames? Why am I dropping frames? Hello? Hello to you? Hello? Okay, we're back in the green. What the fuck? I think it's stuff that people in the house are doing. Thank you. My inner guidance always leads me to improvement. You have a brilliant inner guidance system. The Syrians helped design it. I just want to talk about you have a brilliant inner guidance system. I think it's very dropped frames. It's very popular, I think, for us to be like, well, I'm a mess. Don't listen to me. You know, sure. Do you know what is helping you say that out loud? Your inner guidance. You have a brilliant inner guidance system. You must learn to recognize your intuitive signals. You may get clues like goosebumps, a feeling of anxiety when you meet someone, or a thought of an old friend who calls you out of the blue. Has that ever happened to you, chat? Have you ever been like, I really wonder what's going on with so-and-so, and then so-and-so is like, hello to you. Has that ever happened to you? It happens. Your intuition is a vast natural system that provides you with information beyond your physical senses. Isn't that cool? I love remembering that. Your intuition is a vast natural system that provides you with information beyond your physical senses. Releasing your fears helps you hear and trust your inner guidance. You can be cautious, attentive, and pragmatic while still trusting your inner guidance. That comes up a lot too. A lot of the criticism of, dropping frames once we start talking about criticism. God dang, what is... Don't test me right now, internet. You can be cautious, attentive, and pragmatic while still trusting your inner guidance. And it's yours to do with what you wish. Your inner guidance could tell you, whoa, don't listen to your inner guidance right now. It's all there. It's all included. This card asks you to learn to recognize your inner physical and emotional signals that are part of your intuition, so you are able to make healthy choices and changes. Healthy choices and changes. That's the title of the stream today. You are asked to discern your inner guidance from unrealistic fear and learn to trust yourself. Boy, is that a hurdle for a lot of us. That's a hurdle for me, I tell you. Why? Oh my God, hold on. You are asked to discern your inner guidance from unrealistic fear and learn to trust yourself. As you empower yourself, you are then able to create the life you desire. Ooh. Sounds a little self-help. The life you desire. As you empower yourself, you are then able to create the life you desire. Are you listening to your inner guidance or giving your power away to others to make your life decisions for you? Are you stagnating due to fear of making a mistake? What's up, Zasia? It's good to see you. I also want to qualify a little bit of that. Just riffing for a second. The lives we desire and the lives we need don't always look the same. That's like a little healthy reminder. Well, I desire this. It's like, that may not be what you need right now. Which is frustrating because we usually desire lives well beyond the lives that we need. What is need? What is desire? I don't know. I'm asking you. Are you stagnating due to fear of making a mistake? I am. The light language is helping you to discover your inner communication that guides you with unconditional love towards your highest good. That's these scribbles. Inner communication that guides you with unconditional love toward your highest good. It is releasing the mental fear that keeps you doubting more often than trusting yourself and life. Releasing the mental fear that keeps you doubting more often than trusting yourself and life. It's so hard to trust. Oh my God. It's like driving a car with a blindfold on. Scary. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's scary. Trust is intense. Faith is intense. Especially when we feel like we've been wronged by putting faith in something before. Oh, I put all my faith in this thing. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is there. Maybe putting faith in oneself instead of something outside of oneself. Or like establishing a separation where I'm going to trust in something. Like, I'm going to trust in myself. Balance outside information with your inner guidance. There you go. Trust your instincts as a valuable part of your knowledge. Inner empowerment helps you recognize fear or genuine instincts. Inner empowerment helps you recognize fear or genuine instincts. I think it's setting those two things up as a dichotomy. You are capable of making good decisions. That's the last bullet point. I am capable of making good decisions. Just like this stream. Best stream ever. Greatest stream. Everyone's loved everything that I've said. Nothing I've said has been controversial. Everything is I'm very wise. So, good evening, Zaysha. It's so good to see you. Does anyone want an individual reading? It's an exciting day. It's an exciting time to be alive. It is an extremely exciting time to be a human being. I will die on that hill. What's our queue looking like? List. We got Busy Dose, who is not here, I'm assuming. We've got Plant Danny, who is here. There are no songs in the queue. Cool. Let's talk about Plant Danny. Is there a preference for the kinds of decks you'd like to focus on? Or maybe I'll just play it by ear, or whatever you're most comfortable with. You don't even have to do anything or say anything if you don't want to. It's up to you. You're in the driver's seat. I defer to you. I want to respect you and your wishes. Let's talk about honesty. I will say things. I like saying things. Good. It's cool. It's fun to participate. Let's talk about table space. Is there enough space on the table? Do you guys like to dance? It's a wonder I'm still single. You like to dance? Yes. Galactic Heritage, please. Awesome. So none of this purple nonsense. I'm going to put that over there. Let's talk about Galactic Heritage. My left foot is asleep. I'm doing the debate. I am not streaming the debate. No. I will watch the debate. I'm not going to stream it. I like streaming debates that are like of little consequence. I don't want to be like live. I need to digest it. I don't want to be like digesting it live with other people. I would have to be like far more detached than I am at this time. I don't know if the person who sent me that text is in chat right now, but that's my answer. I thought about it. People love watching me stream debates. But I just feel like it's gonna be I actually like want to watch it, like and I don't want to be like, oh well, like it's easier when it's like an early Republican primary where they're all cartoon characters and not like such a hefty moment. Let's talk about Plant Danny. I was about to set a reminder on my phone when you said, is there a space on the table? Now you have an 8:30 dinner reservation? Oh, that's hilarious. Your phone voice activated a reservation? Can I get a 2-top for me and Malt? Can I get a 4-top for me and Malt and Malt's entire circle of friends? Well, we're probably going to need to push a couple 4-tops together. Let's talk about getting dinner with people. Cool. Plant Annie, do you have 2 numbers between 1 and 9 that you would like to focus on so that I could shuffle the decks? Who's calling me? That's an unrecognized phone number. I'm not going to pick it up. It's not going to be anyone on the other line. It's going to be a ghost. It's going to be someone asking me for money. 8 and 9. They should give me money. Hey, did they ever think of that? Hey, all these people always asking me for donations. Do they ever come into my stream and give me any donations? I'm gonna start saying that to all these people and politicians and stuff. 8 and 9, cool. Who come into my phone demanding money from me. Hey, well, you could subscribe to Pander_Sarah on twitch.tv. Or you can tip at my PayPal. Or you can just hang out, Lurkers are welcome. You'd take that call. Hi, I'd like to give you money. No strings attached, no runarounds, just direct money. Let's talk about economics. Cool. I just want to do like these 3 middle ones. Let's talk about Plant Danny. Cool. Plant Danny. Are you ready for the first card to be flipped? Here it comes. Assistance without interference. Assistance without interference. Assistance without interference. That's intense. That's how I feel like my relationship to you when we talk about those issues in your life. I'm trying to assist without interfere. But let's talk about Plant Danny. Assistance without interference. 93, that's a very significant number to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. Serious future. So they learned the lesson of assistance without interference. Very cool, very fresh. Let's read about it. 93. I need a very cool, very fresh emote. In the ancient days, whoa, what a way to start a sentence. In the ancient days, Syrians learned a lot of lessons about helping without interfering. Some of these lessons were painful and difficult. Now that the Sirius energy has made its transition, it has integrated those lessons and offers loving assistance without interference. Examine who you wish to help in this life. Find ways to do so from a place of neutrality without interfering. This represents a karmic pattern from ancient days that you are now ready to release, but you first must be mindful of the difference between assistance and interference. Let me skim through the commentary. Yes, this card is connected to energy from the Sirian era after they became an awakened species and transcended to a non-physical fifth density state. Before they transitioned as a young species, they had a lot of karma around the issue of interfering with the natural development of other species. It took many generations and much pain before they learned these lessons and successfully transitioned. Earth humans will also have to learn these lessons, both on an individual level and as a species. One of the biggest challenges in becoming a mature species is to know how and when to help another in a way that does not interfere with the lessons that are needed to be learned. That was a big one for me. My obsession with teaching as a means of control, instead of just letting other people figure things out on their own. I always demanded that others figure it out through my way. You know, just speaking from my own life. If this card came up in your reading, its meaning depends on your life circumstances and possibly the other cards in the spread. It may mean that you need to examine how you are helping someone and whether this help is truly in the best interest of the person you are helping. Or it may mean that you are accepting help from someone when it would be best for you to learn the lesson on your own. Case in point, this very stream. It could also refer to a hidden motivation for helping or being helped, such as a wish to change someone or to avoid looking at a deeper issue that you need to look at. Whatever the case, this card is asking you to examine this issue closely in your life and make whatever adjustments are necessary so that you do not create karma for yourself by confusing what assistance and interference really mean. That is a very powerful card. Let's look at the next one. Spiritual technology. My God, literally. Spiritual technology. Number 23. Interesting. 23. Pander 23, spiritual technology. Vega present. Beautiful. The means by which the Vegans were able to practice their mysticism. Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. I did a bunch of push-ups yesterday, and I think I'm feeling it. You're reading along at home. You have these cards. I totally forgot about that. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. How cool. That's really cool, Plant Danny, that you got a deck of these cards. And did you ask the metaphysical shop near you to stock up on that? Or did you order it from online? Or that's really cool, in my opinion. Let's talk about spiritual technology. I'm a very good singer, chat. You can look up my music on any of the major streaming services. I just asked the metaphysical shop to order it for you. Cool. That's really cool. Thank you for doing that. That's exciting for me because I like to talk about this stuff in a way where it piques people's interests. Love to sing. Helltrain is such a good singer. Helltrain is an intimidatingly good singer. I don't think they normally stock it, but they have a relationship with the publisher. Cool. Who is this publisher? Who is this? What is this? Light Technology Publishing. Well, that makes sense. Very cool. Very fresh. 23. The ancient Vegan mystics. Hold on! The ancient Vegan mystics became quite adept at creating spiritual technology. Speaking of a metaphysical shop, this refers to using tools such as crystals, wands, geometry, and so on, tarot decks, Ouija boards, so forth, pendulums, dowsing rods, whatever, bubbling cauldrons, cannabis tinctures, plant medicine. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a bunch of modalities right now. Like free writing, like modes of channeling. And so on, to enhance spiritual experiences or perform a function such as cleaning the energy in a home or healing a person, like, smudging, saging, etc. Originally, these tools were meant to be an enhancement of spiritual practices, but over time, the Vegans and many humans right now in our timeline became dependent on them and forgot that the power was not in the objects. I do that with these cards. If I was really, really tapped in, I could just sort of sit here and say all this to you. But I don't believe that I am yet. So I like to use the cards because it's fun. It's fun. Isn't it fun? And what beautiful artwork David Cow did. And what beautiful descriptions Lisa Royal Holt did. It's a permission slip, but it's my permission slip, and I love it very much. I love crystals, etc. That's that good stuff right there. Hold on. That's good. It's gonna feel like a certain administration in a few minutes if I keep doing that. Yes, they forgot that the power was not in the objects themselves. This was a profound lesson for them. Examine how you use spiritual tools now. Do you depend on them more than your own inner power? Oh, yes, Danny. Yes, thank you. Thank you to all of those people. The commentary. In the middle development era of the Vegas civilizations, the present, a branch of spiritual science began to focus on spiritual technology. What is spiritual technology? It is technology that assists spiritual development. Well, heck, how about that? Prayer. How about that? Affirmations. How about that? A little calendar where every day you look at a joke. That can be spiritual technology. A little ritual that sets you up to be in a funny little mood for the day. Making your bed. Rituals, ceremonies, initiations, brushing one's teeth. It can range from external tools, such as crystals, wands, frequency generators, healing tools, and more. It can also include meditation techniques that have elaborate processes or steps that seem as if they provide a shortcut to a desired goal, but can often instead lead the practitioner along a path of distraction. Sometimes spellcraft goes in this way. Again, there's nothing inherently wrong with it as long as we can remember that the power resides within us and that the elaborate steps of making the potion and then imbibing the potion, we're using that because we have the intention, we have the belief that it will activate that power within us or within the user, the drinker, the practitioner. It's always in there. Sometimes it just takes a little doing. And that's perfectly fine. It's part of being a human. It's fun. It's fun to go through the steps of a recipe. It's exciting to see the outcome. We get to imbue it with a little bit more power and intention with every single step that we take. All tools are neutral and can be used in a balanced way, an addictive way, or a way that controls others. This era in the Vega civilizations was a challenging one, and it connects to the era on Earth in present day, where many are looking for spiritual shortcuts instead of doing the real deep inner work necessary for spiritual transcendence. Whew! If this card appears in your reading, it could mean different things depending on the surrounding cards, your life circumstances, and past past karma. Perhaps it may imply that you are becoming too addicted to spiritual technology and need to look at your inner self as a source of evolution. I know that I think about that a lot. I know it is a spicy card because it's sort of saying to me it brings awareness to the frame. It's very postmodern in that way. It's like, hey, is the medium that you're using right now, like a divination deck, are you relying on that too much? Are you putting too much of your power in a modality such as a deck like this, whereas it could be tapped within you? It's always there. Sometimes these are like little keys to unlock the door. That's been a metaphor for today. It forces an excellent inward check against what is taken for granted. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Perhaps this card may imply that you are becoming too addicted to spiritual technology and need to look at your inner self as a source of evolution. Or perhaps the opposite is true. Perhaps you can benefit by investigating spiritual technology in a balanced way. Could also be pointing to past lives in Vega or Atlantis in which you dealt with the misuse of technology. Atlantis has the stereotypes within that paradigm of relying too heavily on spiritual technology or certain technologies, inevitably leading to a great civilization downfall or collapse or whatever. Which I can't get into right now because I already feel like I'm misrepresenting that. Zasia, oh my god, thank you so much. 35 months. I want to hear this. Thank you. That was awesome. I loved that. My volume's a little too low. I wish it was a little louder. Oh, you can't even hear that. I haven't even set it to multi-output device yet. Yo, were none of you able to hear Star Pals? Bruh. That means the first 10 minutes of stream were just silent. You heard Star Pals? What the fudge? But not that alert just now. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Also, the Chris Max bit alert earlier. The sound didn't play. There we go. I have to set certain things to certain things so that audio can be heard by certain people. Spiritual technology. Go within and examine what this card means in the context of the other factors mentioned above. Let's see what that final card is about to be. Oh, cool, Danny. Okay, that's good to know. Shamanic journey, of course. Cetacean whale parallel. Shamanic journey. This is a big journey. This just like completely emphasizes assistance without interference. Spiritual technology. What are the tools that we're using to assist without interference? Are we interfering too much with the spiritual technology? Are we relying on the tools too much? That, asking those questions and exploring all of those different modalities are the chapters of the book of someone's shamanic journey. Recording dreams, recording daydreams, desires, wishes, wants, synchronicities, coincidences, strange happenings, high strangeness. Shamanic journey. A nice dinner with friends. Whale! I love whales. Let's read about whale. Y'all ready for this? Shamans teach us to navigate through our deepest unconscious in order to confront our shadows and release stagnant beliefs and habits, creating profound transformation. Whale consciousness, which is connected to Sirius, is shamanic in nature. When we work with it, we must look into the mirror and see the false self. Whales are providing this service on a large scale for Earth at this time, but in a very subtle way and mostly through dreams. You've pulled this card because you have a connection with whale consciousness, now or in the past, and it is calling to you once again. Marine mammals are whack. They literally evolved from the ocean onto land and then back into the ocean. Oh, that's interesting. They went back. The ocean's a beautiful place. Whale consciousness, connected to Sirius, represents group consciousness. Each whale is actually a group unified field. like a group of souls. They swim in the deep waters of Earth as a symbol of the deep unconscious in which our true identity as unified beings dwells. Remember when I kept insisting that everything is a metaphor for everything else? It's interesting to think about the ocean as a poem in that way, symbolizing our own subconscious, our own dark depths. We don't know how deep that goes. We don't know what critters and creatures are living down there. And that's their territory. I don't want to go down there. It's very scary. It's very dark. But it's there. It's part of us. It's part of our planet. They serve as a reminder that we too are part of a unified existence beyond our limited lives as humans. Whales are the first group species that humans encounter before we become a galactic species. As humans adjust to the whale consciousness and open themselves to what it represents, we prepare ourselves to acknowledge our own true state of unity. Because Earth is going through a powerful transition in consciousness now, whale consciousness guides us through a transition from polarity and fragmentation to unity and oneness. It's that old chestnut again, that old theme again. Very telepathic species as well. If this card came up in your spread, then some part of your being is accessing this whale consciousness to help your spiritual growth and heal the fragmentation within you. This card is called Shamanic Journey because whenever you use the energy of the deep unconscious and are moving toward profound integration and transformation with the help of interdimensional guides, it is indeed a shamanic journey, one filled with shifting realities, changing paradigms, and magical potential. Whether you feel this energy working with you or not is unimportant. If you wish, hold the image of a whale before sleep and ask for whatever guidance can be shared with you at this time. Then pay attention to your dreams. What a cool reading this is. What a very cool reading this is. Empathy. Empathy was the bottom card. It just kind of popped right up. Peace. I want to read about these two cards right now because they just pop right up. Peace, perception. Oh my god, I want to read all these cards. Perception, connection, everything always feels so relevant. Balance. Oh my god, joy. Scarcity. Oh my god. Let's just start with peace and empathy. Peace and empathy. I love empathy. It's become a bit of a controversial subject in my own spiritual center that I work at because the minister insists that empathy is dangerous. It can, or like as a practitioner of affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, you want to make sure that you are not taking on, like a therapist. You want to make sure that you're not taking on. You're not burdening yourself with the emotions, et cetera, and so forth of other people. I think there's a happy balance that can be reached, though. I think that if someone is worth their salt, I think if someone is I think we can have faith that people are not going to just be like, oh, let me hold all of your pain for you. I think that empathy is more nuanced than that. I think it's more, I think it's vital. I think it's necessary. And I think that it can be utilized in a way where no one has to suffer. I think right now, in certain metaphysical spaces, empathy is talked about with certain negative connotations. It's a trap or it's something to avoid, whereas the opposite could easily be argued. And I would like to do so enthusiastically next time the subject comes up in some of my spaces at work. It's a popular one. It's they always use the metaphor well, okay, so you're out in the ocean and you're in a canoe or you're in a boat they see it as like swapping. It's like you're gonna bring the person onto your boat and then you're gonna get in the water for them. And I'm like, that's a useful way to argue against empathy, but I don't think that's one definition. And I would like to introduce a more, useful definition where it's not a transaction. It's like I can put myself in your shoes. I can understand why someone else might hold a certain perspective. I think that, to me, that's what empathy is. But let's talk about these things. Let's start with empathy because I'm already like going so ham on this right now. Lyra, awareness. My voice is so like weird today. It's so forceful and performative. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's just like my own insecurity. Empathy. Lyra, awareness. Where are we? I understand pain and I know evolution. I love that. I understand pain and I know evolution. Empathy is understanding. Wait, empathy is understanding and compassion for challenge or triumph. This takes great courage as there is much suffering in the world, but it need not be a burden. It takes discernment to recognize what is yours and what is not. Like that boat analogy. It is important to recognize that you are strong and capable, as well as seeing that potential within all others. The Lyrans had a long journey of healing the pain they caused and received. Their journey supports you to heal this faster. Wow. This card asks you to find your inner courage to appreciate, love, and support all life on Earth. Having deep compassion is not the same as being a doormat, as that does not truly help anyone. You teach and receive necessary lessons through honoring yourself. Empathy opens you to understanding others from a perspective of love. As you interact with compassion and understanding, you are impacting humanity's improvement in ways unseen. You can maintain boundaries that protect you and keep you open to love. Hey, Steph. The light language is strengthening your power of understanding and assisting you to hold boundaries that support. It looks like, look at that, it's a little hat. The light language is strengthening your power of understanding and assisting you to hold boundaries that support your expansion, as well as teaching others the power of self-love. As you honor your needs with balance, you will have a wellspring of love to assist others. I know, Zaja, I agree. I'll have to like bring up the conversation again with one of the ministers who used that, but it's like, no. To me, empathy would be like, oh, drowning would sure suck. Let me help this person. Not, oh, like it's really. I'm excited because for the next couple of years I'm going to be engaging in these like courses. Like I'm going to be on an educational track that will eventually lead me to like a ministerial license. So, and that's going to be, I think, a big discussion, like throughout that. I think throughout my life, I'm always going to be a champion of empathy, unless somebody distorts the definition in a way where I'm like forced to argue against it. And then I would just be like, why did you distort the definition so much? Same thing with forgiveness. It's like, I just like definitions. Hi, Steph. Forgive easily and hold healthy boundaries. That's the first bullet point. Seek to understand a perspective that may be different from yours and release the need to change another. Just like I feel with other people's definitions of empathy. Ooh, we're getting too meta. Your capacity to feel immense. Your capacity to feel is immense. And you are safe doing so. It's okay to say no or have a challenging discussion. Whew. Let's talk about peace. Pleiades expanding. Look at that. That little. That's very cool. This is what I should be doing. Very cool. Let's talk about peace. Zaja, I was thinking about you yesterday. I hope you're doing well. peace. Where's peace? I can't find peace anywhere, chat. You gotta potty the dang dog. Well, have a good one. My peace is an active, creative state. Peace is an active state. It is patience in action. Whoa. I just want to sit with that for 5 minutes. Peace is an active state. So often there's this assumption, it's almost like like an entitlement felt. That's like the resting state ought to be peace. And yes, obviously, yes. But how is peace achieved? I need to choose peace in order to experience it in my life. Jesus. It has been confused with lack of emotion, action, or desire. True peace is a foundation of strength that knows your capability deeply. This is the peace that passes all understanding. The Pleiadians value peace because it keeps you open to new information, solution, and support. You do not get swayed out of a predominant state of peace when you know your creative capability and support from life. Wow. You honor the flow of your emotions into a positive expression that serves your clarity, focus, and change. In a peaceful state, you are able to interact from a place of empowerment, no matter the situation. This card asks you to take stock of your peace. Start with your successes. Remind yourself of times when you have resolved anger or fear. Remember how time has supported you as new form progressed from unseen to visible. Review how your challenges have benefited your current strength. Remember, we were talking about that earlier. Review how your challenges have benefited your current strength, compassion, and clarity. You are innately capable, changing constantly, and supported in many, many ways. The light language is aligning you with your peaceful strength and liberating you from fears and beliefs that inhibit you from feeling safe to embrace your uniqueness as well as the flow and timing of life. Trust yourself, trust life, and know that all is well. Allow yourself to express your emotions in healthy ways. Surround yourself with supportive people as you strengthen. Release the need to figure out all the details of how and when manifestation will occur. That's a good one. Release the need to figure out all the details of how and when manifestation will occur. Amazing. Let's do a reading for Steph. Yeah, Danny, I think so, but as I've said so clumsily every time, it's like it's your life and it has to be your decision. Because no strategy or mechanism will make sense until it makes sense to you. Yeah. And I totally get it. I totally get it. Let's talk about KSBP TV. I appreciate your openness. The only reason I felt like I've had permission to sort of address you so directly is because of how open you've been about these things. Like, I try my best to respect the privacy of people of everybody, who interacts with the stream. Let's talk about cards. It's a silly little theme song for the day. Oh, gosh. I don't have to use the restroom yet. I'm doing okay. Let's talk about all these text messages. Jeepers. Jeepers. Steph, is there a deck you'd like to focus on specific? Well, let's start with the Galactic Heritage, kind of like what Danny was doing. Unless you'd like to just like tell me how you'd like this reading to go. Do you want to do both decks? Do you want to do one deck? Do you want to talk about something in particular? But I'm just going to start shuffling the Galactic Heritage ones because that's what we all know and love. Both decks might be good for this one. Cool. Let's talk about table space. Making reservations at restaurants. Oh, hello to you. That'll be a gift. I don't have my skull anymore. There you go. There's a gift right there. The skull's just over by my bed. Because I wanted to make table space. And it assists me during dream time. I could bring it back over here if you want to look at it. Same thing with the giant amethyst. Both of them are really cool. It's just that this table is kind of small. It's the perfect size. It's just I tend to clutter tables. Exactly. I've been using the bra goggles emote a lot. It doesn't make any sense, but sometimes it makes like perfect sense. It goes really well with the phrase, I pretend I do not see it. Or I am looking respectfully. Steph, do I have Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull on Blu-ray or HD DVD? No, I do not. The bra goggles Waddle Dee is the skull. I guess that's so funny. Oh yeah, I could make a skull emote. Steph has a really good skull emote. Steph, do you have two numbers between 1 and 9? HD DVD. 1 and 9. Very cool. Well, I was doing this in a circle, so I'm going to do these two. Let's talk about circular motion. This song is getting annoying. 1 in the chat if you are annoyed by the song. 2 in the chat if you want me to sing some more. 3 in the chat if you're like, please. That's 3. If you want to be like, please. 2 in the chat if you want me to sing. 1 in the chat if you don't want me to sing. 3 in the chat if... Let's talk about songs. Let's talk about songs. Cool. Let's talk about hair follicles tickling the edge of my nose. Seth, did you release new music recently? Can you, if it's not too hard, can you put a link in the chat to the new music that you've released recently? Let's talk about these two cards and this one also. And then we have a gift. Let's bring that gift back. Go over here. KSBP TV. KSBP TV. Steph makes really good music. All right, friends. Who's ready? Courageousness. 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 Number 15, Lyra present. Courageousness. Are you feeling courageous today? You're looking rather courageousness today. Courageousness. Looks like a heart, doesn't it? Those valves. That's the mane of a lion, I think. The lion is going like glom on the head of the little Lyran. It's like glom. I don't know if you can see that. See the cat going like ah. Let's talk about courageousness. Courageousness. Let me consult with the text, if I may be so courageous. A symbol for the Lyran royal family is the lion. Lions are often equated with courage. Heck, everyone's seen Wizard of Oz. One of the most admirable qualities of Lyrans is their immense courage in the face of adversity. This is also kind of touching on why in a lot of different visual representations of different galactic civilizations, Lyrans are sometimes cat people. Sometimes. The human race shares this quality as part of our Lyran heritage. There is great courage in the human heart. And this card asks you to tap into that courage, which goes back as far back as your Lyran forefathers, and apply that strength in the areas of your life where you need it. If you can't tap into that courage, act as if you can. I love that. In doing so, your ancient Lyran memory will reawaken to give you the strength that you need. It's like a really positive fake it till you make it type of thing. And it reminds me of what we were talking about earlier with peace, how peace is, it's an active choice. I can't just expect peace. I have to choose peace. Choosing courageousness. And if I'm not feeling courageous, I'm going to act as if I am courageous. And then, that inherently becomes, well, hey, you went on the roller coaster. You took the leap of faith. What up, Johnson? Suddenly want to listen to I Am a Cat by Shonen Knife. Believe in me who believes in you. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Courage doesn't mean pushing against all obstacles to create what you want. True courage isn't ego-based. Often the biggest act of courage is to let go. Mature doesn't mean evolved, etc. Yeah, very cool. Courageousness. I don't want to get too bogged down in the commentary on that one. It's just like a lot of repetition. Alienness. We just had this card. Alienness. We had this during the group reading. Alienness. Courageousness. Alienness. Confronting, meeting, loving, recognizing the self in alienness can take a great deal of courage. Is courageousness the same thing as courage? I guess so. It's just like a longer word for it. Alienness. Non-humanoid parallel. Alienness. Best viewers. Boop. Let's talk about band. Gong 777. That's actually pretty cool. I wish I already have the best viewers. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? More like Gone 777. That's right. 27. The energy of this card refers to the sense of alienness that many humans have that keeps them from feeling connected to life on planet Earth. Many feel strange in their own skin, as if they came from somewhere else. You may indeed have a connection to non-human beings in the universe, but because you are human in this life, this card asks you to begin embracing your uniqueness and celebrate it, rather than fear it or be ashamed of it. If you need help, ask some loving non-human beings to assist you during meditation. Feel their alienness and open your heart to them anyway. You and they are one. Yes, this is one of the deck's few archetypal cards that does not necessarily point to a specific species, but rather a state of consciousness that is affecting you now. In terms of our galactic family, it may symbolize a connection to any number of non-humanoid races with whom you may have connections. You may already know who they are. If you don't know, it isn't so important that you do. There are a myriad of non-human species in creation. The main idea is to examine any feelings of alienness that you may have, of not belonging or of being different. Often this feeling keeps us disconnected from life or gives us excuses to not engage in this reality. Again, look at the other cards in the spread. Is there someone in your life who seems alien or different and you are having trouble embracing them? How can you engage yourself more in life on Earth? How can you integrate feelings of being different with being part of a global or galactic community? We're all puzzle pieces. Everybody's different, and we're together in our difference. Ultimately, our journey is about integration, and that means embracing all of our parts, even those that seem alien to us. Themes of courage, evolving, letting go, maturity, and alienness are really hitting. I would argue that courage is the raw willpower and self-assuredness, and courageousness is the state of acting in those things. Oh, that's a wonderful distinction, Plant Danny. Especially in terms dealing with people from your past, both bad and good, and becoming the person you want to be. Yeah, cool. Giving fear the finger. A lot of that coming to a head over the last week or so. It's so funny, Plant Danny, you said giving fear the finger, and I immediately wanted to argue and be like, oh, but we can also embrace and integrate fear. We can love fear. And then I thought, oh, giving someone the finger can be an act of love if this is an 18+ stream. Alienness. Let's talk about seeing the one in the alienness. Perfect drawing for the next card. Having the courage to see the one. Seeing the one, Earth Future. This references our ability that right now it feels like in the future, but seeing the one, seeing the whole, seeing that unified awareness, understanding that all the puzzle pieces fit together as one. Seeing that, recognizing that. 78. Never seen anything else. Seeing the whole if this is an 18+ stream. Seeing the whole if this is an 18-hole golf course. Chat. See, I can make jokes that are family friendly. Giving fear the finger, by which I mean like acknowledging its warnings and proceeding regardless with what you know is right or just. Totally, Plant Danny. Yeah, totally. Thank you, Johnson. Thank you. Seeing the one, 78. Pandora was so much fun to watch until she sold out and became vain. I can't think of a time when that wasn't the case. After a long struggle, humanity achieves enlightenment. Whoa, how cool will that be? That statement was wrong. After a long struggle, humanity achieves enlightenment. What does this mean? Humans no longer feel the need for conflict, and they put down their literal and metaphorical weapons. Through seeing clearly without judgment, we learn to perceive through the eyes of others, empathy, and eventually realize that there is only one consciousness that sees through all eyes. That's, again, why I really don't want to dismiss empathy, because I think that it can be such a powerful tool in reconnecting with that source unified consciousness. Are you fucking... Thank you, Zasia. Thank you. I don't know what these Gong 777 people are all going on about. Begin practicing this now. In meditation, ask yourself, who is the one seeing the one seated in meditation? I love that. Who is the one seeing the one who is seated in meditation? I'm seated in meditation, but who is the one perceiving me? And how am I that one also? Because I'm perceiving myself. Perceiving. Perceiving? Persimmon? As you connect with this seer, know it is only one being who is seeing, and this being spans the entire universe. That's a really fun paradox to explore. Simultaneously being a completely unique individual and also one with everything. Did you hear the one about the, who ordered the sandwich? Give me one with everything. One being who is seeing is very Dr. Seuss. Yeah, the rhyming. The biggest challenge for the awakening of any planetary species is its ability to transcend polarity. Happy debate day! As long as we continue to see reality in black and white terms, we continue to keep ourselves separate from the true consciousness that we are, the one all-abiding being in creation who sees through a myriad of eyes. And then it talks about that famous Bible quote. I know, it's very interesting. A few of these reference religious texts specifically. The famous Bible quote from Matthew 6:22 says it best, "If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." Whoa, that's in the King James Version apparently. It refers to the essential ability to see with one eye, or to see from a unified perspective. This is the key to the awakening of Earth, as well as to personal ascension or transcendence. If you pulled this card, you are being asked to sincerely begin the process of seeing with a single eye, to begin feeling the unity of creation in all things, even those you have previously labeled negative, or those that are too frightening or too painful to acknowledge. This is essential for your own personal transformation. It may seem like a daunting task, so let your higher self and the wisdom of the universe guide you. This future has already been assured for Earth, but we have to take the steps to make it so. Peace being an active choice. For this card, look at the other cards in the spread. If there are many future time stream cards with awakening themes. Nope. We have a parallel and a present. But it's all, everything is everything, so that's okay. It is likely you are already well on the path of making this change, and this card is a celebration. If there are many cards with themes about polarity, often in the past, then it is a clear message regarding the next step of your spiritual work. Shout out Lauryn Hill. Wait, what did I just say that was a reference to Lauryn Hill? I can't remember what I just said, but I love Lauryn Hill. Creative communication was the gift. This is the card that jumped out during the shuffle. 61. Very cool card, in my opinion. Creative communication. Present. Everything is everything? Oh, cool. I love that phrase. That's actually, that's in a Star Pals episode. In episode 4, Olga says that. Olga the succubus says everything is everything. I didn't know I was channeling Lauryn Hill at the time. Creative communication between myself and Lauryn Hill. 61, present. Serious. That's the gift. Let's talk about creative communication. 61. The Sirius energy is known for its profound spiritual communication. It acknowledges that you have a connection with a Sirius guide, future self, or dolphin energy, which is connected to Sirius, that is currently working with you. Spend some time in quiet meditation connecting with this energy. Let this energy help you inspirationally communicate with those you love. If you do any form of channeling, the Sirius energy can assist. And channeling can just be creative output. Channeling can be playing music. Channeling can be drawing. Channeling can be folding laundry, going on a walk, daydreaming. If you have difficulty saying things that need to be said in your life, ask this guide for help. It can help you clear karmic patterns regarding your fear of expressing yourself. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna skip over the commentary for that one. I want to address a little bit of the purple cards. And I can feel my energy starting to grind a little bit, so I'm going to use the restroom after this. But they call streaming channeling. Cool. It is a channel. That is, yeah. It's a pretty like you're accessing a being that isn't in the room with you, but you're bringing a being into the room with you, and you're listening to her spat out nonsense. You know, what's up? I'm the interdimensional presence in your life. I'm your interdimensional girlfriend. What's up? Imagine if I haunted your house. I'm already haunting your house. If you have my stream up, I'm haunting your house. Let's talk about this. Let me shuffle these a little bit. Or maybe just cut the cards. What's this going to be? Excuse me. Now. Now. I like that. Now. Pleiades expanding. Now. Now. I'm haunting your office. Now. The test begins now. Doom, boom, boom, boom. Let's talk about now. Where's that book? I don't know. My full power is available to me in my present moment. My full power is available to me at my present moment. Even when Goku just knew how to access Kaioken times 1, he had the capability of Super Saiyan 3. Did he know how to access it? He had to go on a journey, but it was always there within him. What a silly example to use. Your now is your most important moment because it is the only one in which you can truly participate. The only moment in which we can truly participate is our now. 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 All experiences, fears, beliefs, and wisdom gained from the past is influencing your present. Your relationship with the future is also in your now. Your beliefs, expectations, and fear of the future are in your present moment. The choices you make now will impact your future experience. That includes the anxieties that we hold about the future and the baggage that we hold from our past, or whatever word you want to use, depression, trauma. That's being experienced in the now. Even though the event occurred in the past, we are reliving it in the now. Now. Or we can choose not to. Now. Now. What a beautiful word. Your goal is to become more at ease and confident with the unknown, with the very real possibility of improvement available in your present moment. The Pleiadians understood the power of focusing yourself toward improvement and ease while being realistic with your current moment. That's the little hitch. In this way, you are interacting consciously with the full spiral nature of time, allowing the universal flow to ease your change. I want to look more into the spiral nature of time. It makes me think of galaxies and the cyclical nature of things, the nonlinearity of time. The closer you get to the center, the tighter the coils and how it unravels as you get farther away. Hey, composer, thank you. I wonder if the power limiters are self-imposed, like separation from the source by by choice to experience. Had a couple experiences recently with old friends. One was very inspiring discussion about creativity and communication. The other revealed to me that some people stay the same toxic reactionary person they were in high school. Yeah. Yeah. They're on their own journey. And you witnessing that is part of your journey. You being like, oh, I can recognize that that person hasn't changed from these toxic qualities and so forth. And how does that apply? Yes, allowing the universal flow to ease your change. This card reminds you that your only participation is now. Your awareness of your feelings will clue you into any past pain or future fear that is inhibiting your creative flow. You need not figure out all the details, just seek your inner peace through forgiveness and a perspective of trust with the future. You are creating change now. And, setting goals is a huge thing. That's happening in the now. Oh, I'm going to, in October, I'm going to do these things. Those are happening. You're making the plans right now. I'm making the plans right now. I'm making the decision to do these things right now. And then when that now occurs, I may do them, I may not. But right now, the reality is that I will do those things. Like if we had Akira power all the time, probs couldn't experience the same. Oh, like if... Wait. I wonder if the power limiters are... What do you mean by power limiters? I absolutely think they're self-imposed. Or like anything that really like it's like a choice. It's like, hey, I mean, you don't have to believe this, but it's beneficial for me to believe in a lot of this stuff that like I chose to be here. I chose to have a human experience. Like even if I fight against the family I was born into, the body I was born into, the circumstances, etc., all of these things, the anxieties that I have, all these things, I believe that I'm interacting with all of those perceived, limitations by choice to learn something, to grow, to integrate, etc. You don't have to believe that. We don't all have to. It's just that's a little thing that like I find that to be comforting. That like, oh, my limitations it's like a narrative that I've chosen. Now, when a lot of people hear that, they immediately think of victim blaming or like, oh, you mean I chose this life? That's a huge criticism of the sort of like spiritual shortcuts that a lot of new age philosophies and so forth take. When I'm talking about choice in that context, I'm talking about a much more like cosmic, like thing that's like kind of outside of the comprehension of what we're used to as humans. And that can get very sensitive. So I try to be very, very delicate when I'm talking about choice or like a limitation being a choice, a hardship being a choice, things like that. Because we think of choice as like, well, that's not preferable. I would never choose something that I don't prefer. I know, neither would I. Why do we experience challenge though? Challenge is still going to exist. Like we're here, we're experiencing challenges. So I want to know why. I want to know what the lessons are to be learned, etc. I don't know. It's hard. As much as it breaks your heart to see people stay the same person they were 10, 20 years ago, I know you can't change them and won't try to. Word. It takes a lot to like release that like need to control others and so forth. I find that for myself. And I'm sure that they've changed in a lot of ways that we may not be able to see on the surface and stuff. Yeah, you've seen a lot of people change and grow. Yeah. Outside of time, choosing to separate from the extent of our power to experience humanity. Whoa. On the cosmic scale, I can't say I know for sure. More like in imagining. Yeah. I mean, faith and belief, it's all imagination. Even things that we insist are objective reality, it's constructed by our imagination. And if you need proof of that, just talk to 2 different people about the same subject. See like what the differences are. Anywho, now you are creating change now. The light language is helping you heal your past and release fear of the future. It is freeing you to create powerfully in the present. The next card is actually Victimhood, which maybe I'd like to read from because what the little monologue I just went into that conundrum, that paradox of victimhood. So I think I would like to read from that. Forgive easily, so you're free to create your life with joy. Change is constant, so this too shall pass. You have more support than you realize. Be open to receive. Use nature, creativity, supportive people, or animals to feel more peaceful in your now. Those are wonderful spiritual technologies, modalities, etc. Now, let's talk about victimhood. And the next one is denial. Wow. But we don't need to talk about denial right now. I like to sort of like stick with just a couple of these. Wow. Denial would be interesting someday. Victimhood. Of course, we could do this forever. And I have to like put a limit on the reading at some point, but this is just really juicy. And I'm excited about all of this. Victimhood. Releasing. Orionhood. Releasing victimhood. Orionhood? Did I just say that? I think about that so often, the belief that a lot of people repeat, like say that like, oh, people never change. And I'm like, I disagree with that so much. I made a tweet about it last night. It was like, it can be scary, but I love to change. Like that was as honestly as I could talk about the subject. Like I know that it's a challenge to change, and I know that it doesn't always come easy and it can be scary, but it's fun. I changed my desktop background yesterday for the first time since having this computer. Now it's a beautiful like Dragon Ball. It's Kame house. It's and like it's a sunset and the water's all glassy. It's very peaceful. Even a change as small as that is just like, oh, I've entered a new chapter. People change every moment. Yes, exactly. If you really want to get into metaphysics, like every bajillionth of a second is a frame of free will deciding which parallel universe to exist in. Every like snippet of every millisecond. It's like infinite parallel realities to choose from. So we're constantly changing. There is nothing but change. However, yes, is that what we always perceive? Is that what we always believe? Victimhood. I am inherently powerful and free. That's the affirmation. I am inherently powerful and free. Victimhood is a feeling of limitation within. The Orions discovered that blame results in your power being given to that which you blame. Yes. I'm going to repeat those 2 sentences one more time. This is a big pill to swallow. Victimhood is a feeling of limitation within. The Orions discovered that blame results in your power being given to that which you blame. In truth, you are inherently capable and supported. The past has actually proven that to you. Again, talking about tallying up our past challenges as accomplishments. We've made it here. We're here now. So we've overcome our past challenges. Instead of holding on to past pain as a reason for why you are now limited, use it as proof of your capability to survive and move forward with new confidence. Those that feel something outside of themselves controls their world will look for something outside of themselves to soothe it. I see that a lot in UFO discourse. When will the aliens come to save us from all of our problems? That's not how it works. It's a big pill to swallow, but that is not how it works. Those that feel something outside of themselves controls their world. Those that feel something outside of themselves controls their world will look for something outside of themselves to soothe it. That just bears repeating. Power is then given away because we're always constantly waiting for Superman, waiting for the big reveal, the big savior, the Christ figure, the return, the Messiah, the resurrection. The downfall of capitalism. Waiting, 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 waiting. That's giving up power to something outside. Topple it, you know. I want all of these things to occur too. But in order, you know, waiting for Godot, exactly. And for those who don't know, Godot is God. In case no one's familiar with that play. Power is then given away. Allow yourself to feel hurt, for you are not wrong to do so. Hold on. Allow yourself to feel hurt, for you are not wrong to do so. Just allow the pain to transform. Just allow the pain to transform. What is this? Seek inner forgiveness and hope in order to reclaim your innate power. This card asks you to find a perspective of compassion for yourself and others. Hold boundaries that nourish your self-worth and enjoyment of life. Victimhood may have served you to feel safe within the walls of renewal, but you are a courageous being of love. You are a courageous being of love that understands your power to create new life from challenge. Challenge then has less sway and ease becomes prominent. This is like, whew! The light language is helping to release the pain and fear within that creates victimhood. Cool little squiggles right there. It is empowering you to discover the potential evolution in every experience. Do you think people embrace victimhood too easily? Is there a way of saying that without sounding like an asshole? I think it's conditioned into us, I think. I think it's like a big wound. I think it's a big popular wound that we all struggle with. Something has caused us pain or something. And I think we all deal with it differently. I think that it can often be, it can slip into an excuse sometimes, but it is also valid. It's paradoxical in that way. What I care about is if someone gives up their power. If something happened to me that made me into a victim, how long am I going to give my power away to that which I blame for that circumstance? And I can do so for a long time. I can do that. I can hold on to that for the rest of my life if I choose to. But I don't know, wouldn't I rather take my power back? It's you know, obviously a case-by-case thing, and it's different for everybody. Blame is really, it's important to us. It identifies the source of a problem. It identifies a perpetrator or an oppressor who we can then allow to live rent-free inside of us for as long as we choose to. I think it comes down to like power. So much of waiting for the Superman is like I don't have power. I need someone who has power to come into my life and change this circumstance of victimhood so that I can no longer feel powerless. And so much of all of this stuff is just, this seemingly uphill battle of reclaiming one's own power, self-empowerment, collective empowerment, community empowerment. I wonder if there's something inherently sketchy about justice or the idea of what's fair. I think it's subjective. I think that, and that's evidenced in like legal systems, court cases. He said, she said, that phrase, let's wait until all the facts come in, that sort of believing. What did so-and-so do to deserve the violence inflicted upon them? That sort of thinking. I think depending on your perspective, justice can distort truth-seeking into victim blaming. It's all very it's all entirely up to the beholder of the situation. This is kind of heavy stuff. Oh yeah. Like, I can recognize a great harm was done to me, that I didn't deserve it, and that it's still affecting me. But I also want to move past, to prevent future harm to myself and others, and have it not affect me anymore, or at least not as much. Yeah. 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 Hold on, let me read the bullet points. Find forgiveness for those who have hurt you so that you are free. Not so that their behavior is excused and that they can go along and keep doing it. Find forgiveness so that you can free yourself. To me, that's empowering. I think too often when that is like a priority, I think we assume like, oh, so we just want to let them get away with it? Like, no. That's like, those are two different things, in my opinion. Like, yeah, like, seek the justice that you are passionate about. Always. If you're passionate about it, experience it. What else are you going to do with your time on planet Earth? Like, pursue your excitement. And if justice is your excitement, pursue it. But, yeah. That requires us to sometimes rethink our definition of forgiveness so that we can free ourselves from those who have hurt us, lest we allow them to continue to hurt us like inside of ourselves for the rest of our lives. If someone hurt us in the past and we hold on to that for the rest of our lives, we can use that to strengthen ourselves. We can strengthen ourselves in the present by acknowledging the challenges that we overcame in the past. We lived through it. We survived it. We are stronger now. That acknowledgement is very important. And again, it's all about definitions and like how we color, how we flavor memories and trauma and stuff. Are we going to allow the trauma to keep us in a state of perpetual victimhood, or do we allow the trauma that victimized us in the past to strengthen us in the present? There's a choice there, I think, that is very hard to see sometimes. And like, I'm saying all this stuff out loud because I know that I struggle with this myself. Struggling with it, but yeah, I'm kind of at that point. Word. Recognize. I'm going to reread your thing. A great harm was done to me that I didn't deserve it, and then it's still affecting me, but I also want to move past. Right, exactly. Yeah. Just reiterating that. Yeah. The next bullet point, do not blame yourself for negative experiences in your life. You have courageously chosen progress forward. Wow. You have courageously chosen to progress forward. If you want to add that article of speech. Do not blame yourself for negative experiences in your life. You have courageously chosen progress forward. They were not your fault, etc. All of those things, all of those comforting sentences. It happened. You have courageously chosen progress forward. You are still here. That hits for me like really deeply. Find a perspective of hope that allows new solution to form. Find a perspective of hope that allows new solution to form. That's a tough one too. Sometimes optimism feels like a limitation or naivety. But if we can have a perspective of hope that allows new solution to form, that bolsters the hope. That's like hope with all sorts of possibilities. That's exciting to me. That's passion. Remind yourself that you are capable, for it is true. Remind yourself that you are capable, for it is true. It's really easy. And, well, included in that, we are capable of convincing ourselves that we are incapable. That's part of our free will. That's part of our unconditional loving experience. We are given the freedom to convince ourselves that we are not free. And a lot of us do so pretty habitually. I do that constantly. I was talking about that mind prison earlier. Like, I'm the warden of my own prison. And it's important to acknowledge external factors that contribute to that belief. But how long do I want to allow those external factors to hold power over me, etc.? And that can manifest itself in several different ways. And that's personal for everybody. Prison guards ain't free. That's extremely apt. They still deserve some form of comeuppance one way or another, but moving the fuck on and being my own person seems better to me than revenge or holding a forever grudge. Yes, and not everybody believes this, but there's a great comfort in knowing that comeuppance. Hey, what's up, Chris Mack? Comeuppance, someone's perceived comeuppance will occur in their life. Like, someone will learn the lessons that they need to learn. We may not be present for that. And how delicious would it be if we could sit on the sidelines eating our popcorn, waiting for that person, you know, our perpetrator to get their comeuppance. And we got to see it. We do not always get to see it. In fact, if we did get to witness it and it was delicious, we'd probably offset the karma in a way that would mean that we had to start learning another lesson in some other direction. And so on and so forth. The tennis match that never ends. Revenge, 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 revenge. Just constant, like tit for tat, eye for an eye. Trusting in that, trusting that they will learn whatever lesson you so desperately want them to learn. We're all here. We're all in the same play. We're all reading from the same script. I can empathize with Danny more now. Yeah. Yeah. I love the Kermuppets. Phenomena. Do, 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 do. Phenomena. Not gonna lie, I did get to see the comeuppance unfold a couple of times. Well, there you go. That's even more than once. That's more than a lot of people get in their entire lifetimes. A lot of people just got to look out for themselves, got to establish a place of safety where they're no longer like so tethered to the victim perpetrator dynamic that was established by, you know, that interaction, that trauma. And they don't get to see that comeuppance. That delicious comeuppance. Delicious cum up pants. This is an 18+ stream. I've had my fair share of popcorn, yeah. Yeah. This was juicy. This was a juicy reading. Wisdom. I kind of want to read about denial just because I'm like, I don't know if I've ever read about denial on here before. I feel it's right now we're just beating a dead horse. But just for fun, I just kind of want to read about denial. I don't even know if this is like a good idea. I feel like we should end Steph's reading there and then just sort of explore denial for ourselves. You bought dildos? That's nice. My birthday's coming up. Denial. Thank you for banning the bots. Just kind of want to like, I don't know. I am safe to observe my authentic reactions. Denial. That's the affirmation for denial. I am safe to observe my authentic reactions. Let me take a sip of water. Then I need to make sure that I use the restroom. Denial is a tool of the psyche to maintain survival. It is designed to create empowered change. You must actively evolve beyond fear, or denial keeps you stagnant. Synchronicity. The ego helps you navigate physicality to keep you alive. Whatever is occurring is working well for the ego. This is why people will remain in harmful situations. The ego creates fear of change. This is extremely relevant to what we're talking about right now with the victimhood card. Whatever is occurring is working well for the ego. That's something that certain channels bring up a lot. It's like the choices that you make, the experiences that you experience on some level, you believe are beneficial to you, etc. Which is, you know, that's a rough one for a lot of us. Oh, for sure, Monster, of course. Thank you everyone for participating and being so open-minded. This is really like heavy, vast, delicate, sensitive, electric, wild stuff, and it's my favorite stuff. It's so fertile, I guess. I don't know. It's right there. This is why people will remain in harmful situations. The ego creates fear of change. The Orions discovered the only way to truly heal was to resolve the inner realm first. Then the outer realm followed. And we've talked about that a lot in here. Like when you're looking in a mirror, you can't expect the reflection's frown to turn into a smile all on its own. It's your reflection. So it's your mouth that shifts, etc. That's a silly little like example, but that's like the quickest one that comes to mind. Bless. Whew. This is the gift of releasing denial. You become whole, conscious, and empowered within. As you nurture yourself into empowerment, denial is exposed as unnecessary for your survival, and you move through change much more easily. This card points out the need for self-observance. As you examine your initial emotional reaction, you are discovering inner fears or empowerment. Soothe yourself into a clearer understanding of your capability, and you will find evidence of support more easily. I feel like the word capability has come up more often today than it usually does in a lot of these streams. Usually we're focusing on like polarity or something like that, or forgiveness, for instance. Capability is coming up a lot. Capability feels so close to empowerment. Capability. Yes, Danny. Soothe yourself. Yes. Train yourself to feel safe changing. Whoa. Train yourself to feel safe changing. For life will always compel you toward improvement and creativity. That's fun to think about creativity as inherently in flux, like always changing. You are life in human form. Of course, a lot of us have heard that you are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are life in human form. We've talked about that with some of the channeled material that we've screened on here, where it's like you are not a human with a soul inside of you. You are a soul with a human inside of you. Like inverting that dynamic, reversing that perspective. The physical is the crystallized soul, as opposed to the soul being the nebulous human, the nebulous physical. Just entertaining the idea that it's the other way around, where the soul crystallizes into the physical human body, etc. It's very fun to think about vibrations, stuff like that. or when you think about your higher self or a collective consciousness or something, tapping back out into that collective, which feels so much closer to the whole 18 plus stream, so much closer to the source, all that is God, universe, love. Embracing change is scary, but maybe less so if it's adapt or wither. Sure, if you want to split it into that dichotomy. Yeah, and sometimes that can be helpful to split. Like for me, for the choice to stay alive, do I live or do I die? And if I'm gonna live, I need to really live. I need to live authentically. Embracing change is scary, but maybe less so if it's adapt or wither. Yeah, sometimes choices like that can help us discern, help our intuition, help us see a little more clearly. They're extreme, like dichotomies are really dramatic. It's either this or that, you know, but sometimes that can help us see like a way to integrate the this and the that. Sure, maybe not wither, but stagnate, sure. Hold on. Yes. You are life in human form. The light language is creating empowerment within, so you feel safe healing your hidden fears. It is assisting your empowered love to flow freely to yourself and to others. Cool. It's a little bit of a flowing river vibe to some of that. I like the long, the vertical lines. And then the current, the little squiggles in between the long vertical lines. Because there's going to be friction, there's going to be challenge. Self-observance is important for releasing unconscious habits. That's the first bullet point. Nurture your ego into healing. Appreciate that it is doing its job of keeping you alive, and it will easily relax into empowerment. That's the ego we're talking about. Nurture your ego into healing. Appreciate that it is doing its job of keeping you alive, and it will easily relax into empowerment. Like even withering can be changed. Yes, exactly. Stagnation can be changed. Even like feeling like you're stuck. We may even only notice that because like it's a change from when we were progressing so much. When we were, thought of ourselves as progressing or changing constantly. Oh, suddenly I'm stuck. That's a change. Still, like everything is inclusive in that perspective. Become astute at recognizing your authentic emotions. That's a lifelong journey right there. Focus your thoughts and emotions toward appreciation. That choice to consider peace as an action. I love that. I love that theme. That's a cool one. Peace as an active choice. Focus your thoughts and emotions toward appreciation. And I also want to throw gratitude in there. Appreciation and gratitude can be very synonymous. Okay. Holy cow. What an amazing reading. Thank you for redeeming that, Steph. I really have to use the restroom. Please enjoy my new BRB screen. It's Star Pals Television. Woo!